Yo, what is going on, guys? Jay here, and today we are reviewing Future and Metro Boomin's latest collab album, We Don't Trust You. Yes, today we're going to be talking some hip hop about the hottest album to come out possibly all year. Is aiming for over 200K first week, which would be a huge dub for Future and Metro. Love to see it. The fans have been clamoring for this ever since Superhero off of Heroes and Villains came out, when everyone was like, oh, this is a banger team. We need the official collab album. And they came through. They did it. They listened. And I'm not going to lie, they did not disappoint either. Metro has already done tons of iconic productions for Future throughout his career. He has a lot of production credits on albums and mixtapes like DS2 and Monster, as well as some of his other biggest hits are on Metro beats. As we know, you put Metro with anyone and it's a lock, it's a hit. Just look at what him and 21 Savage have done. And this was super exciting, especially as someone who did not find I Never Liked You to be a particularly good album. I was underwhelmed. And it's safe to say this is Future's best album in at least the last 5 years. You know what you're getting from Future. You're getting that woman talk, that wealth talk, that drug talk, and in terms of, again, content, stuff like that, it's nothing particularly new, but it is how it's conveyed and how it's delivered that makes this album as great as it is. So considering that, I will be discussing the tracks, breaking them down in terms of their quality, starting off with the songs that I thought were just good. Progressively moving on to the songs I thought were the best. Tracks like Ain't No Love and Running Out of Time are solid, melodic, melancholic Future bangers. I mean, again, they're in the good category, so they're nothing particularly special. And I don't know if I'll go back to them all too much, but they are enjoyable, good tracks, as well as WTFYM, What the Fuck You Mean. I love the beat build on this song, but other than that, it's pretty generic. And the peak generic song here has to be Claustrophobic. Literally the most baseline, like standard Future track you could imagine, especially in terms of the content here, where Future keeps rapping about having to buy another mansion because he got claustrophobic. And he just kind of repeats the claustrophobic refrain in the chorus. And again, it's a good track. I like the production a lot. It's very atmospheric. It's very detailed on Metro's part, but like it's just a pretty standard Future track. And the final track in the good category, which honestly might be rising to great since I initially wrote the script. It has been growing on me. We're talking about Fried. The synths in the instrumental by Metro are absolutely hypnotic and just lock you in. And yeah, Fried, she a vibe. At first, I really wasn't fucking with the chorus. I thought it was very simple, very basic. But honestly, despite those things being true, it is catchy and has gotten stuck in my head since I've heard it. Now, in terms of great songs, we got the incredible, obviously incredible is a bit overblown because I just said great. But the incredible intro, We Don't Trust You, this sets the mood perfectly. It's dark, it's eerie, it's not quite in your face, but the lyricism is in your face. We don't trust you, we don't trust you. I love the highly dramatic instrumental and Future's crooning on here, and it just sets up what you know is going to be a great album. I like a track like Slimed In as well. It demonstrates the more menacing side of this album because not that there's sides, but there's two kind of vibes where it's like the more low-key nighttime vibe, and then there's the hard, menacing tracks where they all work in the same atmosphere, the same soundscape, because Metro curated this album perfectly, transitions and all that on point. But this is one of the harder tracks. I love the chorus, and yeah, just the flows and chorus that Future used on this song are great, one of my favorite tracks. Seen It All is another casual Future banger that I enjoy a lot, and Magic Don Juan, Princess Diana, another one of the best tracks here in the great section. The beat switch is amazing from the first to second half. The first half is, again, this more menacing, dark, syrupy sound. Future's in his bag. And then you go to the high speed, well, still menacing and hard instrumental for the Princess Diana, where he's rapping his ass off, good flows, a lot more high speed, a lot higher tempo. And this is some people might think the beat switch here is unnecessary, but I personally love it. I think that it gives this track a lot of character and makes it one of the most revisitable. Everyday Hustle is another great song here, standout feature from Rick Ross on one of the more haunting and I guess unique Metro beats here, at least unique for what we know Metro for, as it has, again, these haunting, eerie piano keys and this super powerful, strong soul sample that backs the instrumental. And Future's verse is like fine. That's really what's stopping this from being in a higher category, in the amazing category, because Rick Ross absolutely does a great job here. Absolutely great job from Ricky Rose. We also got the outro slash bonus track, depending on how you cut it up, Where My Twin At. I love this song because just like, man, I feel you, Future. Where a free thug, and free thug again. I love the more like upbeat synths There's very uplifting synths in this instrumental that's more melancholic as we hear Future rapping about how he misses Thug and seeing him in the courtroom. I mean, this is just a great tribute track. I love it. And we also get GTA rounding out this category. Again, one of the most darkest, most menacing tracks on this album. I love the instrumental. I love Future's dark, very heavy delivery. And yeah, this is another one of those tracks that really locks you into the atmosphere of this project. Now, in terms of amazing songs, this is essentially my top 5 songs on the album, right? And it's in no particular order. This is just the amazing tracks. Starting off with Cinderella featuring Travis Scott. I mean, I feel like the instrumental here is very geared toward Travis Scott, and that's why I love it. It's got that nice, like, nighttime vibe going on. It's got some nice light synths in the background. It's very hypnotic. It's very, I mean, I don't know if symmetrical is a good word, but, you know, it's not, it doesn't evolve a lot, but it works in its favor. It very much locks you into the performances from Future and from Travis, who fit this aesthetic very well. Great flows and great choruses all around here. Another one of my favorite tracks, absolutely, we got Ice Attack, where the second half of this song is very peak. Again, another song with a great beat switch from Metro, seamless transitions from the prior track into it and into the track following it, as well as you get the whole album. This is a more intense Future cut. Again, he's flowing his ass off here. I love his rapping on this track. That's why it makes it so great, to be honest, so amazing. The first half is a little slower. It picks it up after the beat switch. Dripped in Louis V bandana, I got my rag out, whoa. We also got Young Metro, which has some backing vocals from The Weeknd, who again adds to the atmosphere, adds to the mood of this album, with his high-pitched, haunting voice in the background of this intense, heavy instrumental, where Future is pretty much just gassing on Metro, Young Metro, Young Metro, Young Metro. And again, another huge atmosphere track here, very haunting, very much fits the vibe of We Don't Trust You. And then the top 2 songs are, of course, the most talked about songs, the most viral songs, the one you would expect based on the features. We got Type Shit with Playboi Carti and Travis Scott. Oh my God, when I saw Carti post this on Instagram, I actually saw it before the album dropped. Or no, before I listened to the album, which was very upsetting, to be honest. At first I assumed it was a Carti snippet, but then I realized what it was. And I got some of the features spoiled for me, which was kind of a letdown. But what could I say? I went to bed early that night because I listened to this album for the first time on a flight at 5 a.m. Very much the vibe. And man, I was hyped the whole time listening to this track. Let me tell you, Future is great here. I love the chorus and how they continue it throughout the whole song. They're on some new type shit and just saying all that. Like, sometimes it gets corny, but I really like what it does here. Travis Scott has a beautiful bridge between Future's first verse and Carti's first verse. It's just absolutely angelic. And then what Carti does on this track, he does it, it's similar to Fiend, where like he has his verse and then he comes out for a little bit for Future to come in and then comes back in again and goes even harder. Like, oh my God. And Carti, he was doing that new voice he's doing, which I love. He had the Sia type voice. And, like, obviously the bars weren't crazy, but it was just hard-ass flexes the whole time, like you would expect. You know, some like, 85,000 for the teeth, then 9 smiling for the bitch. And the way that bell lines up every time he says type shit, it's just, again, a very hypnotic song that locks you in. It's so good. So good. And finally, we got Like That with Kendrick Lamar. I already uploaded a video talking about the disses themselves and the implications they might have on the rap game. So feel free to go check that out wherever. I don't have cards on this channel right now, but it's the other most recent video I uploaded beside this. Check that shit out. I'm not gonna break it down too much here, but again, we got some hard ass bars. Fuck the big 3, it's just me. DOT, money, power, respect, and the third one, the best. Oh my God. The ending bar, like, for all your dogs, we gonna leave them all these caves with these knives. We might see, or they might see Pet Cemetery. That wasn't the bar. I'm just going off the dome right now, but just so many brutal Drake disses. But also, I love the inflections that Kendrick is using here and the way he's playing with his voice, his delivery. Like, whenever Kendrick plays with his voice like that, similar to on a track like You or on any of his collabs with Baby Keem, I feel like that is almost peak Kendrick. When he is really messing around with his delivery, that is some of my favorite type of music to hear. And yeah, here he absolutely slayed it. You got the most unique instrumental on the album. It's got the sample that Easy Does It uses woven in and out of the instrumental, which I love. And again, it's very brash, very in your face. And then you got Future, who's also talking his shit with a great hook. And I mean, yeah, this was just all in all a really great album. Future's in his bag here, doing what he does best. What doesn't necessarily hold this album back, but it is nothing new from Future. It's pretty much what he's been doing for most of his career, and at this point, it seems like he's pretty much perfected it, as there's no misses here. And even though a lot of the stuff he's rapping about, or maybe a lot of the flows and choruses and content isn't anything new, it's still refreshing because of the background that Metro gave him, but also because Future has, again, just perfected it at this point. He still makes it interesting, and for him to be doing what he's doing in his 40s is honestly, I don't want to say this is a generational thing, but he's dead. This is very impressive for him. Way better than I Never Liked You, which I said I didn't like. Not the biggest. Actually, Pluto x Baby Pluto is trash. And The Wizard's fine. I'm not the biggest fan of that either. But this album is great. Future's got smooth flows and catchy choruses all throughout the album. And like I've been saying, Metro really did a great job of pulling it together. He is the glue that makes this work. He crafted an incredible, moody, dark, haunting, menacing atmosphere like no other, perfectly tailored it to Future. And again, all the transitions. You got all the beat switches in the right place. And down to every detail. Another really cool thing that I love that Metro did, I feel like all the instrumentals evolve throughout, where if you listen carefully, he'll pull in certain instruments and put them back in, or certain samples and put them back in throughout one single instrumental. So it's always changing a little bit to match Future's pace, and I feel like that is another very strong point here to why this track list is so good. And yeah, this is just another testament to Future's greatness, as without much content, he could still make a super exciting and engaging album all the way through on this 17-track long album, over 10 years into his career, and not doing anything particularly new for his standard, is still able to make it great. I will be giving this album a 7.8 out of 10, but honestly, I'm not too big into the decimal ratings anymore right now. I am going to change my rating scale at some point. I don't know what to yet, because, I don't know. I want it to be different than everyone else's, and the decimals were, but I feel like it's a little more serious than what I'm trying to do at this point. It's more quantitative than I'm trying to be. And also, a rating I will be introducing to them is, instead of the 5 stars, because you see the videos, I'm not that good at the editing. I'm not going to be able to pull up how many stars I want to do for each time. But this is going to be my enjoyment rating. So instead of stars, we're doing fingers. This is getting 4 fingers from me out of 5 for just enjoyment, how much I like it. Because I'm not going to lie, I've loved this album. Been on repeat since it came out, and I think it will be for a while. This is, in terms of enjoyment level, is very similar to that of a Her Loss or a Heroes and Villains, which are some of the best trap albums of the decade so far. But yeah, guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, turn that bell on, all that shit, guys. I appreciate everyone tuning into this, and I look forward to more reviews. And yeah, Future, Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You. Amazing album. Great album. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.